HasanAbi corporate. I don't even know what that is.
Of saying, hey, there's a real impact to these work stoppages, or no?
No, I would not consider this as a temporary situation. I would consider, look, it's as long as the strike goes on. They cannot do their work. And if you are Ford, if you are GM, if you are Stellantis, if you have workers who cannot do their work because the strike is stopping the flow of parts or whatever might need to take place, you have no choice but to lay them off. We've seen this in past strikes. And so for the 600 workers who are laid off, basically this goes as long as the strike goes.
No choice. For the record, that's why everybody needs unions, because a company can fire you on a whim and claim that they simply don't have money because they have no obligation to pay you when you're not doing work. A labor union pays you. A labor union protects you in a situation like that. It sucks, but there are no protections against workers who are not a part of unions. And there are even barely protections against workers who are in unions, obviously, but such is life. Let's take a look at what Donald Trump had to say about the UAW strike.
Let's talk about the economy. And I want to start by talking about this big standoff between the auto workers and the big three auto manufacturers. Yeah. My question for you, Mr. President, whose side are you on in this?
I'm on the side of making our country great. The auto workers are not going to have any jobs when you come right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric...
Interesting. When forced to cut through populism in the face of real action on the ground, Mr. President has a real fucking hard time over here putting that populist messaging into action. Interesting. Now, of course, Sean Fain originally said, we have yet to endorse Biden, but followed that up by saying, but that does not mean that we think Trump is good. We know that Trump is bad. That's his position on it. Maybe this has a, I don't think this will change his attitude anytime soon, it seems.
Electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to have any. I'll tell you what, the auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made.
This is what I don't understand. First of all, if you're president, you can literally make it illegal, okay? Like, that's one thing you can do. You can push for legislation to make it literally illegal. Like, you can make a trade agreement that's protectionist in nature, like you claimed you were going to do, when you basically reevaluated NAFTA after on it the entire fucking time. So that idea is like a laughable one, okay? Yeah, all right, put fucking tariffs then. No Chinese cars. There's a reason why here in the United States of America we can't have sick ass fucking Toyota Hiluxes, okay? It's because if the average American mind could finally drive in a Toyota Hilux pickup truck, they would recognize that the F-150 is bulky, expensive, large, not fuel efficient, and there is no fucking reason for it to exist. Every American would swap overnight to the Toyota Hilux, okay? Worst part about a Hilux is they never go bad. You can drive that for 300,000 miles. Never needing another pickup truck ever again. So this fucking guy had the audacity to say, imagine buying a Toyota pickup truck. Dude, they literally make the best. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about anything if you think that Toyota pickup trucks are not fucking incredible machines. But regardless, what's funny is like, oh, dude, we can't do electric vehicles. It's like, wait, what are you talking about? You want to on like car manufacturers moving into the electric side? Like, what kind of fucking take is that? These guys are literally starting to make electric vehicles. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. He's just like so in the pocket of the oil and gas industry that he's just straight up like, no, it's a bad thing to have finally our car manufacturers also invest more on the electric vehicle fleet. Maybe he's just working with Elon and secretly doesn't want anybody to fucking make electric vehicles so Elon can keep making green. green energy credit money.
Made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
So let's talk about UAW.
Okay, the new moderator at Meet the Press. First time I can say that.
I know.
It's
surreal to hear that. Great to be with you, Andrea.
And just off of this extraordinary interview, first of all, what was your impression from that exchange?
Okay, the person that's sitting on the left is literally Alan Greenspan's wife, okay? So, make no mistake, I have 0% belief that this is going to be a productive conversation that truly represents the interests of the working class, okay?
Well, I think that you heard former President Trump, who is fired up about a lot of these issues and obviously trying to draw a sharp contrast with President Biden. Manufacturing has gone up in recent years. We should say that. But you heard him, I thought it was very notable, say he'd like to win over the endorsement of the auto workers. I read back that statement from the president of the union, underscoring just how hard that's going to be. Notably, the union has not yet endorsed President Biden. But look, taking a step.
Yeah, dude. Good analysis. He definitely cares about the workers. He literally sidestepped away and started complaining about EVs randomly, you fucking cretin. What the hell kind of fucking framing is this? People are such charlatans, dude.
Back, it speaks to the importance of unions in this upcoming election and of this state, Andrea. This is a state, Michigan, of course, that former President Trump won in 2016, lost in 2020. It's always quite close, and he's clearly making a very strong play for it as well. And, of course, leaning into his deal-making status, which he talks about, of course, a lot.
And, of course,
yeah, totally. He leaned into the deal-making status. God, these people are fucking monsters, dude. I love how fucking stupid you have to be, or how stupid you have to portray yourself as if you are to talk about these sorts of things in the media, you know?
Let's talk about the breaking news today. We learned just a short time ago that the president's son, Hunter Biden, was indicted by a federal grand jury on 3 gun charges. Given that, Mr. President, can you continue to say that there are 2 systems of justice?
Well, I think there's no question about it. He had a plea deal that was the deal of the century, the art of the deal. You could write a book on it, the art of the deal.
I have.
And all of a sudden that was broken up by a judge who was able to, a brilliant judge actually, who was able to see through what was happening. And it's a sad situation. I mean, nobody should be happy about this. I'm not happy about it. Nobody is. It's a very sad thing. It's so bad for our country. But, you know, if you think about it, I've been under investigation from the day I came down the escalator, and a phony investigation, fake investigations, investigations that I beat every single time, still under investigations. But it's a very sad thing, and it's a
94 charges.
And dangerous, very dangerous for our country.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
4 indictments, 91 charges.
Mr. President, if you were reelected, would you pardon yourself?
I could have pardoned myself. Do you know what? I was given an option to pardon myself. I could have pardoned myself when I left. People said, would you like to pardon yourself? I had a couple of attorneys that said, you can do it if you want. I had some people that said it would look bad if you do it, because I think it would look terrible. I said, here's the story.
For what?
These people are thugs, horrible people, fascists, Marxists, sick people. They've been after me from the day I came down the escalator with Melania. And I did a great job as president. People were acknowledged. Great economy, great.
I want to point something here. Something that's very important. Something that shows that Donald Trump is significantly better than Ron DeSantis at like messaging and reading the room. So he always says this, and I've noticed this. He always says fascists and Marxists, which is pretty hilarious because like Donald Trump, when he was president, was a proto-fascist, like pretty close, right? Much closer to fascism than communism or socialism, which of course are 2 entirely separate things. Fascism isn't even a fucking economic organization of society, but significantly closer to fascism than socialism. But here's where you have to understand the difference between Donald Trump. He had fascists under his employ, like Stephen Miller, and yet he still says fascism is bad. Ron DeSantis keeps up and forgetting that like there isn't an appetite by the American public for someone who like openly will call themselves a fascist. So Ron DeSantis keeps hiring people that are like these little young groypers in the Republican Party's, I guess, talent pool. Keep putting fucking like sun and rods and shit on his campaign, on all the campaign marketing material. Meanwhile, Trump is out here being like, fascists, they're bad, they're Marxists and the fascists. Like, what are you, a fucking centrist? Is that what you are, Donald Trump? Everybody knows. And yet, everybody knows what he is, and yet, for some reason, he still says those words. Just understand, when you think about, like, the Nazi scourge in this country or whatever, that the average American's perspective might be very close to a fucking psychotic race realist or whatever, and yet they still hate fascists and Nazis, and they think they're fucking nerdy.
Jobs, great this, great that, rebuilt the military, Space Force, everything. I could go on forever. Let me just tell you. I said the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon. I could have given myself a pardon. Don't ask me about what I would do. I could have, the last day, I could have had a pardon done that would have saved me all of these lawyers and all of these fake charges, these Biden indictments. They're all Biden indictments, political. They indicted. They want to arrest their political opponents. Only third world countries do that, banana republics. So, ready? I never said this to anybody. I was given the option. I could have done a pardon of myself. You know what I said? I have no interest in even thinking about it. I never even wanted to think about it.
Another L. Another resounding L. Hillary Clinton not arrested. Donald Trump had the opportunity to pardon himself, didn't take it. What an idiot.
And I could have done it. And all of these questions you're asking me about the fake charges, you wouldn't be asking me because it's a very powerful thing for a president.
Also, it's very stupid, but like what he's talking about is like the capacity to potentially preemptively pardon anybody or even yourself. That's what he's saying. Except there was no fucking crime. So even then it's like theory. It's a legal theory. And as we know, some of those insane legal theories is the reason why he has currently 91 charges and fucking 4 indictments. So don't forget that. It's like, yeah, maybe it's best that you didn't listen to your fucking dumbass lawyers on this one, idiot. You could have had even another lawsuit, okay? He would just like go around and ask every single fucking person in his immediate vicinity, all the cranks and the kooks, and whichever one had the most creative psychotic legal perspective, he'd be like, you're the guy.
Told by some people that these are sick lunatics that I'm dealing with. Give yourself a pardon. Your life will be a lot easier. I said, I would never give myself a pardon.
Even if you were reelected in this moment?
Well, I think it's very unlikely. What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. You mean because I challenged an election, they want to put me in jail?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
For the record, we're back to normalizing Trump on mainstream media. Like, all it took was for his sweet ass to be away from the fucking cameras for like a year. And now MSNBC is sucking his dude. Are you fucking joking? What the hell is going on? I'm the one who's supposed to suck him dry. You're the one who's supposed to actually attack him. What's happening? What's going on? I wonder what happened to that chatter who said I was a Trump supporter. I wonder what he's up to.